And welcome to your For Cavazos real estate market update. I'm George Cass, and I'll be walking you through the data. The data that we get is from the Texas Realtors Association, provided by Real Estate Research Center at Texas A&M University. So the data we'll specifically be talking about is Bell County and then the month of September of 2023. So the median price is 270,000, which is down 2.9% year over year. Not a big shock for this one. August had similar numbers where it was down year over year. So I do want to highlight one thing about this number, right? Just keep in mind this is one metric or indicator of what's going on in the market overall, right? So for Bell County. If you go and look at the data specific to your city or even your neighborhood, it could vary. You might find that the year over year data is down more than 2.9. It might be down less than 2.9. It might even be flat, or it might actually be positive. Good example is Harker Heights. Generally, from what I've seen this year, Harker Heights outperforms the rest of the market, where the numbers are either positive or less of a negative number, right? So maybe they're at -1 and whatnot. But be sure to look at the other data. You can watch my video if you want to see what the difference is. And then just because this says 2.9% year over year, I would still say if you're interested or concerned, what is the value of my home? Reach out to a realtor and ask them to do a market analysis on your property and determine what the home evaluation could be, so that you can get a good, understanding of what your home might be worth. Okay. In any case, we'll continue. So closed sales, looking at closed sales, 402. That's down 25.4% year over year, and same thing. That's not a huge difference from what we saw before, but that's being caused by the downward pressure of buyers not buying as many homes. And I think in some regards, some people are saying that there are sellers out there that might be in a position where they would sell their home if the rates weren't quite as bad. So that's affecting sellers even listing their properties for sale is what some people are saying. Looking at active listings, 1,534. That's up 47.5% year over year. So nearly 50% more homes are available compared to this time last year across all of Bell County. So a lot of people you'll hear, and when I say people, probably realtors, a lot of them you'll see on social media, and they'll talk about this. They'll say now's a good time to buy, and a lot of people will first think, are you crazy? Now's a good time to buy. The interest rates are at 7.5, almost 8%. I'm going to be paying so much more per month on a property. How could you say now's a good time to buy? And everyone has to decide what is important to them when going to purchase a home, right? And the monthly payment is absolutely important. I do agree with that. But the perspective that other realtors are giving you is tied directly to this. Active listings, right? 47.5% year over year up. So there's more homes for you to be able to look at and choose from. And you're also not having to contend with situations like what we saw in the white hot market just after COVID, when you have multiple offers on a property in cash, 20, 30, $40,000 over the list price. And so you don't compete with that now. The what you're really competing with when you find it, though, is a lot of these sellers are sticking to whatever price they want to make on their home, and they don't want to come down because they want to net some profit, or they just want to break even. And so that's the biggest contention that you're going to have as a buyer now, right? That, and then overcoming the sticker shock of seeing what that monthly mortgage payment is going to be. Now, I truly believe that when you go to purchase a property, you have to look at the monthly payment. If you can afford it, and whatever that monthly payment can't afford as far as a home for you, if it fits the needs of you and maybe your family or anyone else that you're living with, then good. I think move forward and purchase a property. Yeah, but if you can't afford it and you're gonna be relying on like refinancing of homes and stuff like that later on, I'd be concerned with that, right? So let's go to the next one. So looking at months of inventory, 3.5 months. That's up 1.7 year over year. So this is a good thing. Balance market is 6.5 months. We are at 3.5. I think if I went, I'd have to go back and look at it, but I believe we were down to like 1.5 and 2 months for the most part during this last year. And so coming up to 3.5 is in moving in the right direction. But when you hear a lot of folks talking about, oh, when the housing crash is coming and whatnot, I would say you need to consider the inventory that we have. So yes, home prices are going down, right? And that's caused by downward pressure coming from, the like we said, the mortgage rates. But the inventory being low is propping that up. It's causing upward pressure on the values of homes because there's just not as many, to look at. So we'll see what happens as time goes by, right? We did shoot up to 7.5% and 8% interest rates, and so it'll be interesting to see what happens moving from there. If this inventory continue to climb? I probably anticipate the months of inventory to continue to go up while we're in the winter season when there's less home sales being made, and then looking at January, February, March, probably once we hit March and we're getting closer to uh, the end of the school year, spring break, people are starting to list their properties. For us, we're in a military location, so we have what's called PCS season. I think that that would bring it back down. But before that, we could see this go up. Maybe we make it to 4 months. Okay, so let's see. Any sellers that are anticipating selling their homes, you can anticipate 53 days on market, 32 days to close, and then 85 total days. So as we always say, if you do want to reduce this number of 53, you need to sell your home faster, then you need to price your home accordingly, and you can bring that number down. Okay, and I'd recommend you get with a realtor to advise you on how to do so. Okay, next, what I want to do is go through the mortgage rates. Since the mortgage rates are such a significant part of what's affecting our market as well as the market nationally, I just want to go through that with you as well. So, um, looking at this chart, so this is the 30-year fixed rate mortgage average across the U.S. going back to 1971, and then we have it all the way to present. And we'll say present for when we're recording this is November 2nd. So according to this, it says November 2nd is 7.76%. And I don't know about that. I saw 8% this last week, and then it went down to 7.5%. So it might be slightly higher, but we won't split hairs right here with this. The point is, when we look at 7.76%, and you have a lot of people talking about when purchasing the home, that you can anticipate refinancing later on when rates go down. Okay. So I would just be cautious of that. When people say when rates go down, assumes that rates will go down. And I don't want to put fear into anybody, but I do want people to be conscious of the fact that no realtor knows if the rates are going to go down. The lenders don't know. There's different market forces that affect these rates. Okay. So a positive note was this last week, the Fed chair, Jerome Powell, decided not to raise rates, which affects mortgage rates, right? So that's a good thing. But it doesn't necessarily mean that that rate's going to stay there, because there's other forces that could drive it up, and then there's other forces that could drive it down as well. But I think we can see some level of it stabilizing. But the thing I would say is, when you're looking at purchasing a home, I've said it before, whatever the monthly payment is on that mortgage, uh, you want to be able to afford that now and for the foreseeable future. Don't put yourself in a position where you're going to be house poor, where you're making all these payments on a mortgage and you're hoping that, oh, 1, 2, 3 years later, I'm going to refinance, and then, my rate's going to be lower. Because historically speaking, um, 7.76% is normal, probably, right? Because you can look at this line, right? So we'll follow this all the way back to, let's see, back to 2001. So February 2nd, 2001 is 7.09%. So once you get to that point, you can see that the rates generally are above 7%, right? They dip down to here, 6.7%. And then let's see, 7%, but then they go all the way up to, there's 9% back in 1994. Then they go back down 6.95%. But then if you go all the way back to here, so this is the height, right? So 1981, October 30th, 1981, it was at 18.44%. And that's an average. There were some people who paid more than 18.44%. Could you imagine paying more than 18% interest on a mortgage? So that's what I would say, is we've got to be conscious about, historically speaking, where are we at with the mortgage rates, and what can we anticipate later on. Now, if you go before that, right, it goes back down. So the furthest that this chart goes is to 1971, April 16th, 1971, and what do we have? 7.31%. And we're at 7.8 right now, according to this chart. So that's what I tell people is, we don't know what's going to happen. I'd be concerned talking to someone that acts like they do. Uh, I would trust someone more that it, kind of frames things as possibilities and tries to understand all the different indicators, or I'm sorry, the different pressures that there are on the mortgage rate, okay, in totality. So, not trying to strike fear in anybody. I'm just trying to, give you an opinion based on the facts that we've seen historically speaking. So, is 7.63, 7.88%, is that the new norm that we can anticipate? Or is it going to go higher? Is it going to go lower? We don't know. But most people that you listen to talk about real estate, they will say that when you purchase real estate, the value over time does go up, and you get the tax savings and then the equity growth. And I'm still a proponent that I believe in purchasing real estate. I plan on expanding my portfolio as well. But just be conscious of getting yourself into a mortgage and ensuring that you can make that monthly payment from now and for many months to come, many years to come. And if the market does change where it's favorable for you to refinance and pay a lower rate, fantastic. But when you sign up for that property, I would say you better have locked in a rate that you're comfortable with having for the next 10, 20, 30 years. So anyway, that's my case. I'll get off my soapbox with that. In any case, I hope this provides some sort of value to you. And if it does, please be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and have a nice day.